Okay, so year 1903 of Media Wars 3, the situation is that Turkey is dying pretty fast, and in the south there seems to be a sort of AAR alliance, even though Russia is not really an ally of Austria and I, because they don't really respond to messages, and Austria is actually kind of attacking Russia, but they are participating in Turkey's downfall. So it's sort of an air alliance, more or less. And in the north, there is an English-French alliance that is slowly but surely weakening Germany. If this goes on long enough, Germany will be toast, even though they are putting up a pretty stern defense. And for some reason, Russia and England are not fighting in Scandinavia, even though they're poised to do so. So let's see what happens in spring 1903 in the press before the moves. Okay, starting with my conversation with Austria, since Austria is my main ally at this point, even though we're, in my opinion, our relationship is a bit strained because of their defensiveness towards Trieste and my, unwillingness to stay in Piedmont last year. They say, looking good, okay, now you go west mostly. Sounds good. And I see, all right, what's the split plan? So I'm still focusing on Turkey, but, of course, I will tell Austria that I'm going west, whether that's true or not. He says, he continues dictating moves for me. He says, Ionian Sea, Naples, and Venice are no longer needed. You can go win the Iberian. Turkey is yours as far as I'm concerned. I'm eating Russian dinner. Just make sure we don't have too many units clumped together. And I said, that's fine by me. I assume Smyrna to Constantinople and Eastern Med to Smyrna are in there. And he says, sure. And then he repeats the moves that I should do going west. Ionian Sea to Tunis, Naples, Tyrrhenian Sea, Venice to Piedmont, okay. And I say, of course, yes. And then he says, wonderful, I'm very flexible. If you don't like a suggestion, it's fine. I don't think so. I don't think too fast. Actually, I think Austria is a really good player, and it will show later. It's already showing because Austria is in a very good position. But I don't think that they're very flexible at all. So yeah, dear Austria, if you're watching this game, I think you're an amazing player, one of the stronger ones on this board. But I don't think that you were very flexible, or at least the fact that now you're saying I'm very flexible, if you don't like a suggestion, it's fine. It's coming a little bit too late, a couple of years too late, because so far I've only done what you told me to do, except that one move in Venice, and you have reacted to that one move that you didn't like a little bit too much, in my opinion. So, I don't know. Press time wise, I don't like your press time, but I think that's just due to the fact that we're playing a fast game. If this was a 24 hours game, probably you would explain better what you mean, and you would ask more nicely, and I probably would have had an easier time working with you. But so I just said, don't stop for Venice, and when good, and my friend, he said, I won't, and that's my conversation with Austria in spring 1903. So basically, Austria wants me to move Venice to Piedmont, Naples to Tyrrhenian Sea, and Ionian to Tunis, which is the ideal move I have to make if I want to go attack the French player and continue in my alliance with Austria. Now, I have to do that, I think, because even if I didn't want to do that, what am I to do? Turkey is basically dead, assuming that I'm getting support into Constantinople. And of course, if I want to continue my alliance with Austria, I need to go against France, which is my only possible target. And even if I wanted to stab Austria, how am I going to stab them? Like, I have one army in Venice. The disadvantage of the Lepanto is that your army is stranded in Turkey, far away from your homeland, and far from where it can actually damage Austria if you decide to go against Austria later. So since I didn't build another army in Rome because I didn't want to upset Austria, now my hand is forced going against France. So I'm gonna do that. Yeah, so I'm not lying to Austria. I am saying what I will actually do, unless something crucial happens in my press with other powers. But I have to admit that I'm not really happy with this because Austria seems to be having a really easy time against Russia. Russia is having great difficulties with this short time format and can't coordinate their units correctly most of the time. And this means that Austria will have an easy time against Russia, while I will have not such an easy time against France, which is a very defensible power, and I only have Germany on my part, I assume. So I'm gonna go have a very difficult and slow war against France, when Austria gets easy pickings against Russia, and then Austria wins this game. If not, actually, if they don't actually stab me before that, because I'm gonna move Venice to Piedmont. So if Austria decides to go into the Italian peninsula, they can do that. But I have an idea. My idea is this: I can move west and then decide what to do, because what I'm moving west is 2 fleets and an army, and of these units, only the army is actually useful against Austria. If I move against France, Austria will never see me turn around. If I decide that I don't want to continue my attack against France, I'm still in a good position to stab Austria after I take Constantinople and I get another army. My point is that I need to appear as I am attacking France, so that Austria doesn't suspect that my next build is offensive to them. Then I need to excuse another army build as a defensive measure, and at that point I can maybe stab Austria, or I can continue against France if I see that the position is good enough that I can effectively do something against France. In that case, I will remain allied to Austria with no problem. Italy isn't like powers like Turkey or France or England that shouldn't split their forces necessarily. Italy can split their forces a little bit and can turn around if they do it quickly enough not to waste too much time, too much tempos in a game. So for now, my idea is to attack France, but I don't know if it will be a real attack or some sort of fluke, and then I turn around against Austria. What's sure is that I want Constantinople and I want Turkey dead, so that I can focus on my next target, whoever that might be. To Turkey, I say, I'm sorry that wave really screwed you over. He says, yeah, I set myself up rather, although I'm not one who took advantage of it. Points finger widely. I think that Turkey was one of the funniest players and didn't really deserve what happened to them, but you know, what can you do? And actually, in public press at this point, Turkey writes, the Air 5000 cooks turkey in less than 20 minutes. So Turkey is taking it in good spirit, even though they're really screwed right now, and being the most defensive power on the board, they're having, you know, a lot of trouble in this game. This is not a fun game for Turkey. But anyway, Italy, Austria, and Russia saw their opportunity and took it without any compassion. So I'm trying again to talk with Russia. In 1902, Russia never responded to my messages, so I just said, you there? Can we cooperate in Turkey? And he finally responds and says, sure. He says, shall I take Ankara and we get you into Constantinople? And I ask for support to Constantinople, but then I say, yeah, that works. He then says, what's your plan with Austria? He's going fast. And I don't respond to that. I think that's because I didn't have enough time to respond to that, or maybe I didn't want to state my full plan to Russia, because my plan is to see what happens and decide if I want to attack France or Austria, even though I'm going to commit something in my army to against France. So I don't know. France contacts me and says, howdy again, wondering if you can extend the DMZ to cover Tunis itself. And I immediately say, sure thing. I actually saw in Captain Mim's video that I responded when they were actually writing the next message. So I was really fast in responding, and this was important because I don't want to make France suspicious of anything. I'm actually moving against France, so not responding or saying no makes no sense to me. I have to say yes immediately. Whatever happens in the later years, this has to work. I can't afford France moving to North Africa and Western Med right now. So I say sure thing, and he says, I do not mind if you put a fleet in Tyrrhenian Sea for defensive purposes. He then says, perfect, thank you, and that's it. And then I realize something. The problem with attacking France is that I'd be attacking alone with some German help. But if England turns around and helps me, France becomes a viable target at that point. At that point, attacking France is not a bad move. So I contact England and I say, France backdooring you, I think. Defend yourself. I didn't have actually any proof of that. I mean, France is in a good position to backdoor England because they have the fleet in Mid-Atlantic Ocean, Spain, to move into North Atlantic Ocean or Irish Sea. So it's credible, but this message I sent maybe too late in the term. England told me that didn't see this, and I actually was right. Spoiler alert, I was right. France was actually going to attack England. I wish England had seen this before. Maybe they would have turned around and trusted me, but they didn't. So my warning to England goes unnoticed, and let's see what happens in spring 1903. So my attacking Constantinople works with support from Austria, and they also cover Smyrna. It seems like Turkey, in a desperate bid to stay alive, tried to support Armenia into Smyrna, but Russia didn't take it and took Ankara. Also, Austria is taking Romania, but losing Bulgaria temporarily to Turkey. And then moving to Piedmont, Tyrrhenian Sea, and Tunis. At the same time, France is backdooring England, moving to North Atlantic Ocean and Mid-Atlantic Ocean, and backing away from Germany. So that at this point, I am attacking France, apparently, while France is attacking England. So there's been a double stab. I stab France while they stab England. And when we see that in the north, Russia has sided with Germany against England as well. Okay, so England responds saying, didn't see anything retreats. Can you spare half your forces to hit France? And I just say, I'm doing just that. My moves prove it. So I'm not saying anything else to England because my moves are the ones that they want the most. I wish there was more communications between me and England, because through the videos on this game made by the players of France and England, I discovered that England at this point was trying to threaten France to suicide into them, so that I could have more of an opening against France, but England didn't tell me this. If England had told me of this strategy, maybe I would continue the attack on France. But since England doesn't tell me that they're threatening France to suicide into them, this happens maybe next year, but it's the same. I don't really have a reason to believe that the attack on France will be any easier than it appears. So yeah, so that's my press with England. With France, they say, well, that's just rude, and they say, okay, so I lied, but I need to do something, and I say it's too well defended. France hilariously says, how dare you horrendously stab me while I'm horrendously stabbing someone else? So yeah, we're both taking it lightly, even though I'm just attacking France, and France has every reason to be mad at me, which is a good idea, to be, friendly, impress, even when you're fighting with another player, because it gives you more chances to defuse the situation. So France says, any chance you're turned around? This Austria is dominating your side of the board. I agree. I say I'd much rather attack Austria than you, believe me. but let me see how this goes. This is true. As I told you, my strategy was I want to see how the board evolves and then decide if I want to actually continue the attack on France or attacking Austria. I want to attack Austria because I think that Austria is much more of a menace towards me, because Austria is having a much easier time against Russia than I will have against France, and because I have worse relations with Austria than with France, purely based on communication. So and personality. At this point, I am telling the truth to France. I want to see what happens and then decide if I want to turn or not. And then he says the obvious. He says, here's the thing, I'm turning up here and just take Liverpool with my fleet. You're not going to make any gains. I say, I need an army at least before turning. I think that France thought that I meant give me Marseille or something, but I didn't mean that at all. I meant I need to wait to build the army that I will gain from Constantinople. So they say, you have an army built from Constantinople. And I say, exactly. He says, move to Tyronia here and build the army Venice. You'll take him completely by surprise. I disagree. That wouldn't be by surprise. He would see that I have moved to Tyronia. He would build an army in Trieste and he would defend himself. Instead, I was thinking about doing that next turn, so he really doesn't expect that. Now we can build in Trieste. He says, do it now, otherwise your fleets are too far away. And then he does something really important that influences what happens in this game from now on. He says, actually, I bounce you in Western Med. Maybe that will help. That will help. Because by bouncing me in Western Med, I'm able to go back to Ionian Sea immediately. I won't be too far away, and I will be able to attack Austria instead of France, if I choose to do so. If I'm in Western Med, Gulf of Lyon and Piedmont, I don't say that I'm forced to attack France, but pretty much, yeah. So the reasons why I'm deciding that I'm leaving this option open not to attack France but attack Austria are the power of Austria in the south, the possibility of an Austrian stab on me, fact that Russia is falling much faster than France would ever fall, France's threats that they would turn up and not let me gain anything, at least not in a long time. And another thing, a thing that unfortunately sometimes happen, even though you think that you want to do a central triple, and that's Germany. Spoiler for the next parts of the video, but do you see Germany backing out into Ruhr and taking Denmark? Well, let's say that this is the beginning of a new French-German cooperation, and that's the point. If I want to attack France, I need, and England of course is going to help me because they're under attack by France as well, I need German help as well, I think. And if Germany decides to ally with France, why am I even attacking France? You know? So even though Germany and Austria are technically allied, and we're planning to do a central triple since 1901, that only works if Germany helps me against France. Otherwise, I'm just gonna lose time and Austria will become too strong for me to do anything about it, and we'll win this game. We also have to consider that this game ends in 1908. If this was a game that doesn't have an established end year, maybe it would be different, but since it's not like that, I can't allow Austria to grow too much, because then Austria just wins the game. Or I'm stuck defending against Austria after Austria has defeated Russia, and I can't do anything, and my chances of topping this board are gone. So my plan at this point is to keep moving against France, with Tyrrhenian Sea moving to Gulf of Lyon, Tunis moving to Western Med, expecting to be bounced into Western Med, and at the same time holding my possessions in Turkey, then see what happens in next turn, possibly build an army and turning against Austria if I see an opening. If I don't, I will continue to go against France. But my preference, to be honest, is to go against Austria. It's much more easier for me to make gains there. Austria thanks me, nice jump on France. And then he says, support Greece to boom. And I say, nice. You take Russia, I take France. Yep, I'll support you to Bulgaria. This is great. Comments that the West never got themselves sorted. That's true. Just 1903, so we keep the pedal on the metal and we're soaring top of the board. I mean, maybe you are, but okay. And I say nice. Turkey, at this point, Turkey tries to survive, offering to be a vassal for someone. He says, if you can keep me in a dot, then consider my fleet yours, make use of it if you can. And I say, that's fun, we'll see, let me think about it. And he says, I hope you can think quickly. The point is that I could support Bulgaria and not support Greece into Bulgaria. But do I want to do that? Do I want to telegraph to Austria my unfriendliness? I don't think so. So even though I'd like to have a Turkish unit instead of an Austrian one in Bulgaria, since I plan maybe to stab Austria, I don't know, it's too telegraphed. If I don't support Austria in Bulgaria, Austria will know that something is up. So no, I won't. I decided not to do that. Russia says, would you like support in Constantinople? He says, you can hold it yourself, but I want to follow through on my promise to keep you there. That's very nice. So I say, sure, that'd be nice. What else can I say? Let's see the moves. Well, all this time I was talking, I forgot to show the retreats. So after spring, England retreated to Baltic Sea, and Russia retreated to Sevastopol, and the army in Ankara was destroyed. Okay, that doesn't really change what I said, but okay. So what happens? I move to Gulf of Lyon and to West Med, where I get bounced. I don't even try for Marseille because I know I will get bounced, and I want to avoid France having the option to build in Marseille a new fleet that they will gain from Liverpool. So I try to support Burgundy into Marseille just in case they are self-bouncing there. They're not, but they're moving Gascony to Marseille, so I obtained the same result. At the same time, we see that Austria retains Romania, and Turkey dies because I retain Constantinople, Russia retains Ankara, and Austria, with my support as well, is in Bulgaria now. So Turkey is gone, and we say our thanks to them for participating in this game and making it as fun as it was. We'll see that they continue writing in the global chat and distracting everyone, especially me. So well done there. So another thing to notice is that France supported ruling to Belgium. So it's clear now that Germany and France had made up, and that England is the odd one out in the north, at least for the moment. But I'm still on France's staying, so I maybe could help England if I choose to do so. As for what to build, okay, if I want to continue attacking France, I need to build another fleet, but I already have more than enough fleets. Also, I want to avoid possibilities for Austria to stab me in any way, and I want to open the possibility for me to stab Austria. So I need to build another army, where if I build in Venice, I have the strong feeling that Austria will not take it kindly and they will attack me straight up. So I think I will build an army in Rome to confuse everyone, and from Rome I can claim that it's defensive. Rome is basically equivalent to an army in Vienna, for example. They're both 2 centers away from each other, and from there I can decide if I want to stab Austria by moving to Tyrolia and Venice, or if I want to continue against France. So we'll see. Just for reference, and I know that supply center count is not everything, I am at the moment at 6 centers and Austria is at 7. So even though only by 1 center, I am the junior partner in this alliance so far, and I don't like that, please, because I don't know, I think Austria will have such an easy time to taking Sevastopol, Warsaw and Moscow, when I will have such an hard time taking Marseille, Spain and Portugal, and even if I take all 3 of them, I'll still be behind Austria, and Austria just wins. So I don't know. So probably I decided to build an army in Rome. Austria builds an army in Vienna. France builds a fleet in Brest, of course. And Russia destroys the fleet in St. Petersburg, North Coast, since they're losing ground against England there, actually. This was 1903, a very interesting year and building up for what was to come, meaning a major shift in the dynamics of this game. See you in 1904 to see what your boy Italy is going to do and if I'm gonna make a mess or actually make a smart move. We'll see. See you next time.